Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another dropship. This one is heavily armed and exceptionally slow, and it's called the Masu Gunship Dropship, or the Dropship Gunship, which is this lovely thing over here. So this is a very large small block ship that features a couple of Gatling guns, a couple of autocannons, some Gatling turrets, one hell of a lot of atmospheric thrusters, a fairly big interior, and an overall great design. So pressing F10 and finding this in the spawn menu, the Masu Dropship is 4,949 small blocks using the Warfare 1 DLC pack. We've got a tiny bit of information about it where it states it's 4 Gatling guns, it's 2 assault cannons, it is survival ready and all the reactors around the ship have been connected up so you can actually use it properly. So giving this thing a thumbs up, we move around towards the very front, we'll have a quick look around the outside, a quick look at the interior, then we'll fly around for a bit, try and find some space pirates, if not, we'll just slam it into the ground. So my character can now bugger off just a little bit and bring the sun back around because it is starting to get a bit dark on this planet. That should do quite nicely. And this is what we get. So at the very front, what we can see is a lovely glass cockpit that features 3 seats. One seat is your co-pilot that can control the turrets. The second seat is your main pilot seat which can control the Gatling guns as well as fly this thing around. And then below here, near our autocannons and camera, we've got ourselves like a passenger seat that I suppose could be used as a decoy. Anyway, move around onto the side, this is what we can see. Some more window blocks appear inside of our cockpit area. There is our Gatling guns. Over under this section is our first thruster pod, which is right behind a couple of blaster edge blocks. Just peering the camera all the way through, got a bunch of them neatly tied together. Then some more towards the back, a couple of gyroscopes. We come out the back, and there we are. If we were to look at it on the side, some great use of our letter blocks. If we were to come back towards the front, because I did miss it out, we got ourselves a red interior light with 2 LCD screens displaying a light blue colour. Looking at it on the side, cross over to this section, this is our doorway to get in and out. So we've got one on the opposite side, and you can see the hinge of how it's going to lift up. We simply hit the button down there, that'll fold all the way up and allow you to get inside. And just below that, there is our first of 2 Gatling turrets to blast your enemies with, while you hover ominously above them. Anyway, over to this section we've got ourselves another thruster pod, but this time we've got a bunch of reactors as well as thrusters. Make sure it's got a nice lot of power, keep it off the ground. So putting the camera all the way through once again, past this blaster edge block, past this section right here, so we've got ourselves our reactors along the top, even more thrusters give us off the ground. All the way past this section, even more thrusters, then out the back. There we go. So once again, looking at on the side, some more great use of our letter blocks. Then we've got some colour blocks in the black, red and yellow. And round towards the very back, this is all we can see. So right in the middle, despite having a similar setup to our thruster pods, what we got instead of that is a bunch of reactors. We've got large reactors, we've got small reactors. It's everything we need to keep this thing flying. So here we see how it's all been connected up as well, going towards the main body of the ship. Pulling out that and dropping down just a little bit, got a red button, which is going to be how we're going to lift up and down this ramp at the back. This is going to be your easy access to get loads of people in and out in a short amount of time. Now just simply come up to this section, we've got a bunch of seats for them to sit on. We'll come back to that a bit later. Dropping down and looking at it from below so we can see the bottoms of our thrusters just hitting on the backs of those blaster edge blocks. There's our landing light which will be deployed by click of a button and will give the ship enough clearance to make sure you don't damage those guns when you try and land down onto the ground. That's simply how they look. Just fall down onto a hinge, onto another hinge, then onto the ground for our magnetic plates. Looking at it from this section, a window block to peer inside. There's our 2 Gatling turrets. Over to this section, we see the bottoms of even more atmospheric thrusters, a couple of spotlights to light up the area below you. Then towards the front, there is our bottom seat, there's our autocannons. And moving all the way up and above, past all of this, looking down, we then see our 2 seats to control this. Pulling away, we've got 2 buttons that are purely there for decoration. Move along the middle, a laser antenna. Over to this section, another window to peer inside your passenger area, where we can see the button to open and close the ramp on the inside. There's a red light, and at the back there we are. And that's a very brief look around the outside of the Dropship Gunship. It looks bloody fantastic with how it's all been set up, and it gets even better when we go on the inside. So grabbing hold of my character, flying all the way up to the doorway, in fact we'll come around to the back first of all, coming through the ramp, pressing that. Now now fold all the way down. We're going to hop up onto this, onto there. Now we can easily walk up, turn around, press that button that we saw from the top, and now nice and sealed on the inside. And this is what we get. So we've got our seats around the outside, got 2 buttons that open up the side door. My character can get out of this little hole. There we go. I can now press that. I can now press that. now open up and allow you to get out that way. Then of course pressing that button, that will now close up, be nice and flush with the rest of the vehicle. Pressing up once again, and there we are. Coming back on the inside, we can press them once again, and now we're nice and sealed. Looking behind us, we've got a couple of weapon lockers, a couple of cargo containers with some magnetic plates on the front just to cover up those access points. We do have an access panel up here to drop in and out some uranium if you need to. Turn around and facing the front, 2 more chairs to sit into, and then a doorway that we can open and close that'll lead into our cockpit. So for the moment, we're going to close that up. Onto this side, we've got some batteries and hydrogen tanks, a couple of LCD screens with nothing displaying on them. Turning around and dropping into this section, this is your passenger area, where once again a hydrogen tank, 2 air vents, and a little seat for you to sit in where if you hop inside, we can't do too much from this seat, but we can see the time of day, our power and hydrogen usage. We can look up there at what I believe is the hydrogen power usage as well. If we were to hop out of this seat, we will get ejected out the bottom, so we have to come back around to one of the side doors. So opening that up, in we come once again. Turning around, pressing that button, coming through this doorway, closing that up, walking up these steps. These are our 2 main seats. But first of all, looking around the room, 2 more cargo containers, a survival kit to recharge yourself and to respawn on. Turning towards the front, there's our 2 seats, where the rear seat is going to be to fly this thing around. We can control the doors on each side. There we go, lift them up and down. We can control both the Gatling guns underneath. There's that one, there's that one. We can use our spotlights on and off, and we've got control for the ramp at the back. So opening that, then closing it. Hopping out of this and coming towards the one in front, this is our main cockpit, where we do have a good view all the way around at the front, where we've got a few controls, where number 1's going to be for our landing legs. I'll bring the free camera over so you can get a good view of what's going on. All the way around towards the back, pressing number 1, this is simply going to fold them all the way down. If we were to clamp this down onto the ground, we won't be able to damage any part of the vehicle, especially not the guns. Pressing it again, it'll then fold all the way back up, and we're ready to go. We're back in first person view, in fact coming to third person camera, bring up the HUD once again. We have one hell of a lot of ammo for our Gatling guns, which we can press by pressing number 2. Yes, it looks like we've got 2.9 million for our guns, not too sure how that's happened. We simply press that, we shoot straight forwards, and hopefully that'll deal a nice bit of damage. Number 3 is going to be for our 2 autocannons to sit right below our ship. Number 4 is going to be for our cargo ramp at the back to open and close it. Number 5 is for our magnetic plates on our landing legs to lock and unlock them. Number 6 and number 7 is once again for our side doors to open and close them. And then number 8, like the seat above, is going to be for our spotlights at the front to turn them on and off. So that's that for the controls. Now what we can do is lift this up from the ground just a little bit. Like I said, it's going to be very slow and very heavy because it is very well armoured. We're going to try and fly this thing around. So moving forwards, this is what we get. We are exceptionally slow, so we are going to be heavily reliant on our guns underneath us to deal most of the damage. Coming to a stop, that's what we get, so you do want to make sure you are playing very carefully if you are charging along towards the station. Unless of course the station is in a safe zone, then go right ahead, slam straight into it to stop yourself instantly. Moving left, and moving right, surprisingly, a nice amount of speed with that. Then moving up, getting some nice speed, but it's not too fast at the end of the day, but that is expected. The moving down is going to be gravity based, that will be faster than everything else due to the sheer weight. Hopefully I can pull up in time. Hopefully. Yes I can. We move up just a little bit, wiggle the mouse around. It is though exceptionally heavy as expected, it's very meaty with its controls, but it does suit this size of ship. So one last thing to do of course is to fly this thing around. I don't think there's going to be any space pirates on this planet because it is a spawned in planet. So what we're going to do is get maximum speed, slam it into the ground, and that will be that. As it is, at the end of the day, it's a lovely little gunship if you do wish to use one in your world. It is heavily armoured and should do well in light combat, and you've got a nice little room on the inside to carry a bunch of people with you if that's what you want to do. So as per usual, there'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with it yourself. Highly recommend you do, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.